All right, this is an important conversation, and I have to tell you, the pain is still a lot to bear. 1 month after a local high school student was verbally abused, attacked during a virtual class on Zoom. That black teenager says that her classmate called her the N-word multiple times, and that racist word triggering trauma for that teen, of course. Take a listen to part 1 of an interview you'll see only here on 6 as her mother shares with us how their family is searching for healing.
Jasmine both berated, belittled, and racially bullied.
I know what it feels like to be called that, right? And literally the only thing that I can explain it as feeling like is that you've been like punched in the face and in the stomach all at the same time.
What word could have that impact to make you feel sick, hurt? Well, a word that is rooted in pain, violence, disrespect, the N-word. It's hard for an adult to process, but a child, a 14-year-old?
Having to deal with the trauma of that and the embarrassment and the hurt and the pain that comes with that.
Nicole Crook's daughter, 14-year-old Jasmine. She was bullied during her Zoom class. The N-word directed at her on screen in front of everyone. 28 times. 28. How do you even start to help your child heal?
Trying to walk through those emotions with her in that moment was hard. Because I couldn't explain it. Like, they don't even know you. They don't even know you. They don't know anything about you. They don't know anything about your brilliance. They don't know anything about your beauty. And say this was not about you. This was about them, right? So trying to make sense of that with her.
Among the layers of pain, disappointment, and shock, Nicole tells me it's not just about what happened, but about what didn't happen.
I think about, what about all of the other kids in the class that witnessed that? Nobody felt empowered enough to say anything.
A lack of action, she tells me, from the teacher during Zoom class and the administration.
And when we left, one of the things that she felt was, they don't care about me. And I couldn't say anything different because I didn't feel like they cared. How do we bring healing to this? How do we talk about this? How do we have the hard conversations? How do we do the hard work?
We're going to have that hard conversation and do the hard work later on tonight. I want to let you know that Jasmine is still very much working on that healing process with the help of her family and her friends. So coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, you will hear more from Ms. Crooks, and I'm speaking with experts about how we can speak to our children and to each other about hurtful words and how to deal with it.
Words empower. Words can hurt, and that's why words matter.
NBC 6 anchor ROXANNE Vargas speaks exclusively with the mother of a bullied teen and shares how parents can have a conversation with children about the trauma certain words can cause.
Words have power to heal and the power to cause pain, to unify masses or divide them, to humiliate.
We shouldn't have to walk out in these streets like fearful over who's going to disrespect me today, who's going to hurt me today. For someone to go through all of that, they're in so much pain.
This is Jasmine. She's 14 years young. She loves to write, research, loves history, but she was targeted by her own classmates at Miami Senior High, bullied on her Zoom class. The N-word directed at her on screen 28 times consecutively.
How do we bring healing to this? How do we talk about this? How do we have the hard conversations?
Dr. Julia Harper says, face it straight on with our kids.
With children, I rely on my favorite 2 T's, trust and truth. Here's the thing, you have to trust your children to handle the truth. And the psyche of children is such that if we don't trust them and if we're not clear when we communicate with them, what happens is they fill in the blanks.
And when kids fill in the blanks, children may think that they are responsible or something else is wrong.
Tell the child the truth about the behavior and then separate them from the behavior. Help them understand that while somebody else is doing that, it's wrong. You know, my grandmother always says, call a thing. It's wrong, it's ugly. And then help them understand that you can choose different.
And part of choosing different is understanding the root and history of Unkind, insensitive words, slurs about one's race, religion, sexuality. Dr. Philip Carter, professor of English and linguistics at FIU.
As a linguist who's concerned in particular with issues of social justice, when we know where words come from, then we're also forced to deal with the history of the context in which the words were used. It's not about the words, it's about the contexts. The N-word wouldn't matter if it didn't come from a context in which people were literally sold, a context in which people were actually enslaved.
When we talk about restoration and healing, we have to talk about truth first.
Should we say the word when talking to them about it?
Absolutely. When you name a thing, you take the power from it. So say the word and say why the word is nasty. Say why the word is uncomfortable. Say what the word means and help them to understand what comes with that word and why you would choose not to use it.
It's imperative for us to do the really hard work, because it is. It's not easy. Like, this is hundreds of years of stuff. Hundreds of years of stuff. We can really get it right. We can get it right for our children. We can get it right for us.
Yeah, we really can get it right, and it all starts with you, with all of us. I asked Dr. Harper for a piece of advice for parents having this uncomfortable conversation. She said, get comfortable with it, because our kids may signal something negative from us. So educate yourself first. Evaluate why you're uncomfortable, your stigma, your anger, your fear. As for Jasmine, she is still dealing with the racial trauma of what happened to her. She's being surrounded by her mom, her family, her friends, virtual learning for now, and we're definitely wishing her well. In the newsroom, ROXANNE Vargas, NBC6 News.